Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, and in this series we're going to be going over the 3 modalities of astrology, and in this video we're going to focus on the mutable signs. Okay, so we have 3: cardinal, fixed, and mutable, and in this video we're going to be focusing on the mutable signs, okay, which is Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. And before we get into that, I just want to remind you, if you enjoy my readings, you certainly can book a reading with me. All you have to do is email me at samastroreadings@gmail.com. That's samastroreadings@gmail.com. And I do birth natal chart readings as well as tarot, okay? So email me and we can definitely go forward with that. Getting back into the mutable signs, okay? The mutable signs, which is Gemini, Sagittarius, Virgo, and Pisces. Now, one thing to understand about the mutable signs is that they are going to represent transitioning energy, changing energy, okay? And because of this makes them very flexible, okay? Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces, this happens during the transitional seasons, okay? So you first have your cardinal signs that kicks off the season, like an Aries, that kicks off spring. And then you have your fixed sign that stabilizes the season, okay, the consistent season, like Taurus. And then the mutable signs, okay, this is the 3rd modality. This is the transitioning. This is what we're going to be focusing on. These are the signs in the seasons that transition, okay? So they go from one season to another, and it's going to represent the change. These are the mutable signs, okay? So Gemini would be transitioning spring into summer, and Virgo would be transitioning summer into fall, and then Sagittarius will be transitioning fall into winter, and then Pisces will be transitioning winter into spring. Okay, so that's how it is. And because these are, again, transitional, changing energy, signs, and seasons, this is going to represent the most flexible out of all of them, okay? So with that being said, okay, we're going to start off with the first mutable sign, which is Gemini, okay? Gemini, all right? And Gemini is definitely 100% a mutable sign. Now, you see in Gemini's energy, very flexible, very adaptable, okay? And they're not people that stick to the same thing, okay? Geminis, you can see with their minds, they are very flexible. They can have this opinion, then they can have that opinion, okay? They can see things in many different perspectives, okay? They can understand somebody's perspective and the total opposite end of it. They see both spectrums, and this represents that flexibility, okay? You have to understand Gemini is the original first air sign. It represents the mind in the most primary way. And one thing about our minds is what makes it so great is it's flexible, okay? Our minds allows us to adapt. It allows us to adapt to different situations, different informations, different understandings, okay? The more smarter you are with your mind, the more flexible you can be, okay? So Geminis is no exception. These people are very flexible in many ways, okay? So they're able to change, they're able to transition, they're not stubborn, okay? Geminis can switch their minds, they can change their beliefs, they can change their ideas, okay? They can change their routines, okay? They're about change. So very adaptable people, very flexible people. Gemini is the sign of information, okay? So they're picking up lots of different informations, lots of different facts, and all of these things. In order to hold them, you have to be flexible, okay? So the mind is flexibility, and Gemini is the primary representation of the mind. It's the first air sign, so it is all about flexibility, and this is why you never know what type of Gemini you're gonna get. You might get the angry Gemini or the happy one, you know, the open-minded one, or the one who has all these like weird strict beliefs, like, and they can go back and forth between each type of person. Again, this is the flexibility, this is the mutable energy of Gemini, and Geminis are very well adapted, you know. Geminis can socialize with so many different people, okay? There's no real discrimination when it comes to energy and information with Geminis. They can relate to lots of different people, so many different people. they're very open in that way. They're not about, things staying the same. It's all about, mental stimulation. And your mind gets stimulated by working more, by picking up new information, new energies. This is what, stimulates the mind to get it to think. Okay. So, Geminis love to think. They love mental stimulation. So change and new energy, new information, all these things are nothing but mental stimulants for them. Gemini starts in the season of spring, and it's the season that transitions spring to summer. Okay, so the season is just getting, hotter. And Gemini is the sign of social communication, our community, and how it runs. Okay, so lots of movement, busyness, and functions and operations. Like Gemini is like your busy local town. So, this is a time of the season when we're doing lots of socializing, lots of communication, lots of networking, lots of getting together, because the weather is just getting hotter and hotter, and we're getting more and more comfortable with being out and about. Okay, so as we transition to an even hotter weather, you see, people coming outside, socializing, having a lot of social activity and being out and about. And again, this is that Gemini season, that Gemini energy. It brings out socialness, it brings people outside, and it gets people excited for the hot weather. So the next mutable sign is Virgo. Okay, Virgo is the next mutable sign. Okay, and Virgo is going to represent mutable earth. Okay, mutable earth. Okay, so Virgo is very flexible when it comes to work. Okay, earth is all about work, it's all about structure, it's all about building, it's all about discipline. And with Virgo being mutable earth, they are flexible within this area. This is the worker of all workers, Virgo. Okay, and they're the workers of all workers because they're the most flexible. Again, mutable earth, they know how to do all types of work. Okay, business work, management work, labor work. Okay, any type of work. They are the most adaptable. Okay, this is why Virgos can pick up so many different skills. Okay, very smart, very analytical, very detail orientated. They're actually ruled by the same planet as Gemini, the Mercury energy. Okay, and you understand that Mercury energy is that adapting energy, that intelligence. So with Virgos, a lot of that intelligence is put into their practicality, and they're very flexible within it. So they can do so many things. They can pick up so many skills that they try to study. And all of these things is a representation of how flexible they are and how they're able to adapt to different types of work. Okay, because that is earth. Okay, earth is work. So Virgos are definitely the mutable signs for that. Very similar to Gemini. Gemini is mutable air, so they're adaptable when it comes to the mind, mental energy, communication. With Virgo, it deals with practicality, work, earth, labor, structures, routines. Okay, adapting all of these things. Okay, so this is Virgo energy. Virgo is very flexible, very intelligent, very intellectual, and again, they take this energy and they put it into their work, into their practical lives, into their daily routines. Okay, all right, so this is the jobs that we do, the jobs that we adapt to do, and this is how we adapt to life in general. Okay, because a lot of things change. A lot of times you have to change your routines, a lot of times you have to change the way that you do things, and this is Virgo energy. Virgo is the season taking the fall season, taking summer season and transitioning summer to fall. Okay, so Virgo is transitioning us to hot weather to more cool down weather. Okay, so the attitude and the energy is changing. In Gemini season, it was taking you from a warm weather to an even hotter weather. So this is going to get people more excited. This is going to get people more up and out. Whereas Virgo is more of a sobering energy. It's transitioning this peak hot weather summer and going into fall. So this is cooling down the energy. Virgo season, this is like when we go back to school. This is when we start getting things together. This is when we're done with the partying and all the socializing, and we're trying to organize ourselves and get ready for a more relaxed season, okay, where eventually you're going to get into a more colder season. So Virgo is like the cleanup after the party. So it helps us transition into a cooler season. Okay, so this is going to be like partying, going out less, and getting your stuff organized to get ready for the new season. Okay, this is going to be getting a lot of your stuff organized and together, instead of like having so much fun and being so out. Okay, this is just being more conscious of cooling down the energy and getting into a more chill vibe where responsibilities and these important things you can remember again, okay, because you're calming down. You're just coming from Leo season, very hot. So again, Virgo is transitioning, getting us to a more cooler season. Virgo's all about responsibility, okay, so you got to pay attention to those things, okay, and that's that transition. So we're going from party to responsibility, okay, and the weather, again, you see that transition of a hot season to a more cooled down season. So that's the adaptation. This is how Virgo is transitioning us, okay, into more responsibility, into more clarity, into more purity, okay, getting organized. Okay, when you want to get organized, you got to calm down. You got to stop the party. You got to clean up now. You're getting fresh from hot Leo season. So it's time to cool down, time to get more responsible, time to get more clear. Okay, adaptable. This is why Virgos are great problem solvers, because they know how to see what the issue is and find a solution because of their adaptability. They're able to change. They're not going to stick to the same thing. If there's a problem, let's find a solution. And in order to find solutions, you have to adapt, okay? If you didn't have to, it wouldn't be a problem. Whatever you were doing, it should have been working continuously. So again, it's that adaptability, that change that allows you to solve problems. Okay, this is how we solve problems. So Virgo, with that adaptability, they're great problem solvers. The next mutable sign is Sagittarius. Okay, Sagittarius, and this is mutable fire. Okay, mutable fire. This is fire that spreads out. Okay, it's mutable and flexible in the sense that it's not the fire that just sparks or stays in the center. It spreads out, and this is why Sagittarius are always traveling. They go out, they meet so many different people. Again, it's that adaptability. This isn't the fire that just stays in one spot. This isn't the fire that just sparks. This is the fire that travels, that expands. So it sees different things. It comes across a lot of different things, and it can change and adapt because of that. And that's Sagittarius. That's why they're always traveling, seeing different things, different people. This is, again, their adaptability, okay? Fire is spiritual energy, so they have a very flexible spiritual energy. All right, so this is going to explain the different cultures they're into, the different things that they love to see, the changes in their reality that they love to see. They love to expand and travel and be in different places and spread their wings out, foreign places. Again, this is that adaptability with Sagittarius, okay? And Sagittarius is transitioning us from the fall season, okay, especially during Scorpio, cold fall season, into an even colder season, which is winter, okay, winter season. Okay, so we're doing that transition. And with Sagittarius, it's such a Sagittarius type of transition because going from the fall and winter, this could definitely be the first time a lot of people are seeing snow for the first time. So it's something completely different than what we're used to seeing consistently all the time, like the sun or the rain, So with this, winter and stuff like that, makes sense that this is during Sagittarius season, because Sagittarius is all about surprises and figuring out new things and different things, foreign things we haven't seen before. And I can imagine, winter coming for the first time, and this is like shocking, like, oh my God, all this white snow coming in, and of course it will happen during Sagittarius season because it's the big surprise. It's going to transition us to something that we're not used to on a daily basis. So Sagittarius is kind of like the surprise box. It opens you to something different, and again, these surprises, these changes all represent mutable energy. It's that transitioning energy. It's that adaptability. Okay, so going from the fall to now the winter with snow and all of that type of stuff, which again could be exciting in terms of seeing snow and seeing how our whole weather is completely changing into something that you don't see often. It's only for this specific season. Definitely that Sagittarius surprise. The way Sagittarius expands their life and adapts to new different things, because this is fire energy, it can be very exciting. Unlike Virgo's more about responsibility. This is mutable earth. Sagittarius is about spirited energy, exciting energy. So again, these are changes that really can excite you. And Sagittarius, again, this is a mutable sign. We see in the way that they adapt to different cultures, different people. We see how they're flexible, how they're able to change, how they're able to see the world in many different perspectives, because they expand themselves and they don't just sit down in the same place, okay? Mutable signs are changers, and Sagittarius is no exception. They love to change, they love to transition, they love to see new different places. So they're very mutable, very, very adaptable. And the next and last but not least final mutable sign is Pisces, okay? Pisces, okay? This is mutable water. And what's interesting about Pisces is I believe Pisces is the most mutable sign. Okay, they're the definition of mutable. The same way I said Aries is like the definition of like cardinal signs, and like the ultimate epitome of cardinal signs, and Taurus is the epitome of like fixed signs. Pisces is the epitome of mutable signs, and this is because water is a mutable element, is a very adaptable element, is the most adaptable element. Water can be liquid, it can change into snow, it can get hard like ice, okay, it can dry out like air. Water is very, very adaptable. It's the most adaptable element. It's the element that can change. With water being so adaptable, water is already naturally adaptable, but you put it in Pisces, which is mutable water. This is the most adaptable person. You look at Pisces. Pisces feel everyone's energy. They feel people all the time. A lot of times they feel people's energies more than their own. They can morph their energy into anything, because again, they're very intuitive. They feel other people, and they kind of have no boundaries, so they can like really morph in with other people, morph into different identities, vibe with the wave, just go with the vibe. So they are so flexible. Literally, Pisces can change their personality and agree with whatever is the vibe at the time. Okay, so they go with the flow type of people, and they feel for people so deeply that they can really be in the minds and the perspectives of other people. Again, very intuitive, feeling other people's emotions, feeling everyone. So Pisces is like almost sometimes like a puppet. They can adapt and morph into whatever energy they want to, and they almost have no choice. Okay, so much so that they lack an identity of themselves, or they struggle sometimes to find their identity because of how they morph into everyone else's. These are the type of people that walk into a room and they feel everyone's energy. It's hard for them to have like their own solid identity because of how intuitive and they are. Okay, so Pisces are very flexible. They understand other people's energies. They understand other situations. They know how to adapt very well. They know how to go with the flow very well. So to me, they are the most adaptable. All the other signs, they kind of have their own way in certain things. They have their own structures in certain ways in certain things. But with Pisces, this is literally like fusing in with other people and other people's energies, and just going along with the flow. You got to think of Pisces like the fish, and you know how the fish swim together and they're all vibing together. This is like Pisces energy. So again, very adaptable. This is what makes Pisces great artists, because of their way that they're able to adapt. Think of like acting, how you adapt to different characters and stories, and how you have to be something else, and going into your imagination and being able to form different structures. If you're painting, you're creating something, you got to be flexible. There can't be like restrictions in what you create. That's how you're able to create magical, beautiful things that come from spirit. This is because you're flexible. You're not giving yourself too many rules and structures. This is like Pisces energy, the same, that mutable energy, that being able to adapt. Okay. And they are in the season of transitioning winter to spring. Okay. So we know that during winter to spring, there's a lot of rain. Okay, there'll be some days where it's light, there'll be some days where it's dark, some days where it's raining, some days where it's cloudy, some days where it's light. It's very up and down, which is very Pisces. Pisces are very emotional, so they could be very, very up and down. And that transition from winter to spring is such a up and down season in terms of the weather. It could be raining one day, it could be really cloudy, it could be really bright, and then it gets cold. It could be windy. You can have a really nice warm day and then a very cold day. It's up and down, and that's like Pisces, like emotional energy. And I can imagine how they feel other people's energies, and it can trip up their emotions, and it can have them kind of like an emotional tornado, like an emotional wave. But yes, that is definitely Pisces energy. Very mutable, the most mutable. And even in this season, if you compare all the seasons, Gemini season, transitioning, spring into summer, and Virgo, summer into fall, and Sagittarius, which is fall into winter. Pisces, winter into spring, to me is the most up and down weather. You like the most up and down weather when you're transitioning to that dark, cold weather into the very bright spring weather. That is the most, in my opinion, dramatic transition. And it makes sense, because this is, again, why Pisces would be the most mutable sign. This is mutable water. So the flexibility is the most here. You get the most type of weather here. The most variety in weathers. So yes, that's Pisces, the last mutable sign. And these are the mutable signs, okay? Mutable signs, again, are very flexible. They transition one season to another. And this is why they're so adaptable. And if you enjoyed that, I hope you did. But if you did, definitely book a reading with me. I do birth natal chart readings, as well as tarot. All you have to do is email me at samastroreadings@gmail.com. That's samastroreadings@gmail.com, and I'll certainly get forward with you. And thanks, guys, for watching. I'll check you guys at the next video.